Good day, everybody. And once again, we're back together. And this time, we're going to be solving simultaneous equations. We're looking at question 3.4. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please just make sure that you're part of the family, right? We've covered all the other questions so far, questions 1, 2, from 3.1 to 3.3. So please, you can go and watch that. Now let's dive into this one. So they say to us we should solve for x and y simultaneously in the following equation. Right. So when it comes to simultaneous equations, so firstly we've got equation 1. Let's call this equation 1. And we've got equation 2. So the most important thing is to make one of the equations, or rather to make one of the variables, the subject of the formula. So I'm going to take equation 1 because equation 1 looks a bit simpler than equation 2, right? So let's make one of the variables the subject of the formula. I'm going to make y the subject of the formula. And please try to avoid fractions by all means if it's possible. And please try to also avoid, just complications, perhaps when you've got squares and so on. So I'm going to say from equation 1, right, we've got y is equal to x plus 3. So I've transposed the x and the 3 to the other side. And so let's call that equation 3. Right, so now that we call this equation 3, right, so now what I'm going to do is substitute equation 3 into equation 2. Now, please make sure that you do not substitute back into the equation that you actually, the original equation where you got equation 3 from, right? That is equation 1 in this case. So everywhere I see y, I'm going to now substitute x plus 3. So let's do that. So we've got x squared plus 4x plus y, but we know that y is x plus 3. And this is equal to negative 1. So let's try and get this back into quadratic form. So we've got x squared plus 4x plus x, that will give us 5x. And 3, remember when I take the 1 to the other side becomes positive, it becomes positive, and so we've got plus 4. So when we are going to factorize that, we've got 4 and 1, and we've got plus and plus. So what does this mean? X is equal to negative 4, or x is equal to negative 1. So there are no fractions here, right? There's nothing in the denominator that would disqualify any of the solutions, and there are no surds. So it means both answers are acceptable. So now we're going to say, okay, let's look for the value of y. We substitute the value of x that we've just obtained into equation 3. Okay, so that's everywhere I see x in equation 3, I'm going to put the value of the respective value for x. So that's minus 4 plus 3, or y is equal to minus 1 plus 3. And so our value for y will be either negative 1, or y will be equal to 2. Negative 1 plus 3 gives us 2. All right, and that is truly how the cookie crumbles. That would have been 7 marks, guys. Really, it is worth for you. It is worth it for you to actually just dedicate some time practicing this section. Right, we are going to go into question 3.5 in our next video. Very, very interesting, and I hope that you will watch that in the next video. I'll see you guys next time. Sharp, sharp.